Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This podcast is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Now more than ever, our internet reliance is increasing, from talking to loved ones to streaming your favourite shows to watching any of the podcasts here on Stretford Paddock. And with that increased footprint, so does our need for proper internet security. And Surfshark is a VPN service that encrypts your data, which stops anyone unwanted from seeing it. Another great thing about Surfshark is it allows you to see all of the great content from around the world. Simply sign in to Brazil and check out their Netflix. You can watch Croatian Amazon Prime. And when you're on holiday, you can still watch all of your shows from back home simply by changing it to your home nation. It is that simple. And currently Surfshark have an amazing deal. By clicking the link in the description and using our code Paddock, you can get a whole 3 months extra for free. That is 3 months extra for free. In addition, Surfshark also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, use that link in the description and use the code Paddock for 3 months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paddock Podcast. Joining me today are two absolute titans of the Manchester United fan base. We've got Angelina Kelly. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Are you good, really, or are you just saying that?
I was on that watch along the other day, so
That's what I mean, man. Have you not had the happiness just driven out of you with boredom of watching United? Just
got to make your entertainment. You got to make your own kind of vibes.
Man, it's one of them, innit? It's not great, is it? Also, we've got Mr. Ronaldo Brown. How are you?
I'm all right, you know. I feel like I'm almost numb to it all.
I think you've been over it for a while.
Do you know what it is? If I'm being honest, I've kind of mentally checked out.
I feel like
the season.
I feel like that happened a little while ago.
Especially Premier League games, and I think the FA Cup possibility with Coventry. I think I'll be a little bit more engaged in that because it's an opportunity at silverware. But then you've got the possibility of running into City again in the in a final. So
honestly,
I'm a bit checked out.
Do you know what it is, right, with that? If United get past Coventry, and it's still at this point, and then we get City in the final, there's like a big part of me that's thinking, I ain't going. I can't put myself through that again. But then there's that little thing of like, but if we win,
and you weren't there,
to be there.
Because you think about that Liverpool game going into it, and I'm thinking, this is going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm not even going to attempt to come back to Manchester and get a ticket. Yeah. And then that happened.
That's what I mean. Like, there's always that little thing. Today, we're going to go through a few bits. Excuse me. We're going to talk about players. There's this story doing the rounds that Anthony Martial, I think Fabrizio Romano said that he's gone. He's done in the summer. There's no ambiguity here. There's no lifeline or, well, you never know. He could end up staying. He's going. So we're looking at a few players whose contract is almost up, or it's going to be up in the summer, and we're going to go through them. We're going to get into a bit of a debate as to whether we think, and we're going to do it as whether we think they should go or whether they will go.
What we think, because I think what we think, what we would like to happen.
Whether they should go.
Yeah, if they should go.
I think our opinion. What we think should happen.
Okay then, right.
Ruthless with it.
We'll go through the players. We're going to do a quick fire thing now, and then we're going to go through it properly. So you read out some of the players, we'll go through, and I'll give you a quick sort of, and then we'll get into a proper debate. And also, you lot get involved in the chat and the comments, so go on.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Tom Heaton.
Stay.
Gone.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Stay.
Rafael Varane.
Gone.
Stay.
Victor Lindelof.
Gone.
Johnny Evans.
Stay.
Gone.
Harry Maguire.
Gone.
Casemiro.
Gone.
Christian Eriksen.
Gone.
Sofiane Amrabat.
Gone.
Scott McTominay.
Stay.
Gone.
Anthony Martial.
Gone.
Stay.
Marcus Rashford.
Stay.
Stay.
Anthony.
Gone.
Amari Forson.
Stay.
Gone.
Ahmad.
Stay.
And then we've got some other names here
Go on,
that
man.
are loanees.
Right.
Facundo Palestre.
Gone.
Yep.
Donny van der Beek. Forgot about him.
I think he's forgot about him.
I think he's already gone.
Yeah, gone.
Hannibal Mejbri.
Stay.
Jadon Sancho.
Gone.
Mason Greenwood.
Gone.
Gone.
Brandon Williams.
Stay.
Gone.
Oh, there you go. We did a quick fire round, but don't worry, we're not going to be sexist. We are going to give you your opportunity. It's like the men have spoken now. We don't need to hear from the women folk.
No, I'll give my opinions. I don't do well with quick fire. I'd have just dragged us all down. So,
right, so we're going to get into it properly. So make sure you are joining in. The first one on that list you mentioned there, Ange, was Tom Heaton. Now I said I think he should stay. He's out of contracts in June. He's basically third choice goalkeeper. I have an issue, right? I am one of those people that if I meet a player and he's all right, it matters to me.
Yeah.
Now, Tom Heaton, I've met him a couple of times.
Does it make you a bit biased, basically?
100%.
Yeah.
I am 100% biased because I took my lad to Carrington. Tom Heaton was, out of all the United players, the friendliest, proper made an effort, top guy, love him. I think he should stay just because of that. That's literally what I'm basing on.
Do you mean for just being there and almost like his character and that presence instance?
He gets it.
He's a top guy, but I think... What did I tell you about that comment, though? You know when you say it, when you start a sentence off saying he's a top guy, but...
Yeah. He's like an insult, isn't it? He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but...
He gets it, isn't far behind. That's another one where he gets it, though, which isn't really a compliment on his football ability. I think Tom Heaton, though, right, hear me out. He's been around for a little while. I know he went away, he came back. He knows the club. As a third choice goalkeeper, I don't have a problem with Tommy. If Tommy, we had an injury crisis, Tommy Heaton started, I don't have an issue with that. And I think for a third choice goalkeeper, you're not going to get much better.
In my opinion, when I'm looking at these clear-outs now, with Ineos coming in, how the season's gone for United, and how generally the last decade has gone for United, I'm taking sentiment out of the equation.
Okay, fair enough.
Talking about players. So, nice guy or not, we don't need Tommy Heaton. So
I love it.
Say gone.
Gone, what are you saying?
I'm kind of with you, Jay, because I just think as a third choice, I think he's all right. He doesn't really affect me as a third choice goalkeeper. Who would you prefer as a third choice? Would you want like a young up and coming player, like maybe from the academy or something, being promoted into those kinds of roles, or bring someone else who's kind of older in, or?
I think that's a good question. We did have. Sure, you're welcome. But we had Kovar in it, who impressed in pre-season, and then he did. He went on loan. Was it Leverkusen?
He went to. He's won something. Yeah.
Is he on loan or was it a permanent signing?
I think he was permanent. I need to double check. But forgive me. No, I've just gone onto the wrong one. I've gone to Kovacic. That was good, wasn't it?
But also, United do have a very, very promising keeper in the academy at the moment, who's basically on the verge of being first team quality, and who a lot of people tout may actually become United's first team goalkeeper in the future.
Okay.
I think his name's Eli Harrison. That might be his name. I think he's around 18 now. So if United want to go down that route and have him as the third choice keeper, then why not? Especially if you want him to kind of progress and become United's possible first team.
Do you know what though? I don't know if you can have him.
You have him as third choice.
Like, I get your point. I just think that if anything did happen and you had to play him, can you really play at
sometimes
18?
I know, but
you know what I mean?
Sometimes
that could be your career done if you make one mistake.
Like, it's sink or swim, innit?
I suppose.
Think in United's current situation, bringing in a keeper that's young and inexperienced, but even if they have talent and potential, I don't know if you want a keeper coming in with a United that structurally gives away 20 plus shots a game. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I've just noticed? Like, this video is going to be long.
Yeah.
We're on the first I told you this.
You warned us, didn't you? Me, you and Joe did this like a year ago, and we got to like we were still on fullbacks, and it was like 40 minutes in, and we realised like we ended up rushing through like all the exciting players.
Imagine, on the keeper thing though, imagine Eli Harrison being like, I get to have a debut for Manchester United and play, but you know that you're at least going to receive 20 shots on your goal.
No, that's
what I mean?
No, forget that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that someone said, I need to find it. Philip Tabby, when I said what I said about, is it Philip Tabby? I've lost it. Someone said basically I was part of the problem. by wanting Dwayne Dwyer. Said you're part of the problem with that reasoning. So I'm part of the problem.
Yeah. You've been told
I am part of the problem at Manchester United Football Club because Tom Eaton was nice to my son, so I want him to stay.
Yeah.
Yuanzu Fateh, welcome to the academy. He's joined the membership. Michael Dyson, who's been a member of the academy for 26 months. Would you guys be content with an FA Cup win, Man City to be liquidated into nothing, and for Manu to score 4 goals in a 5-4 loss to Scotland at the Euros?
That was so specific.
Yeah.
That was crazy specific.
I don't really care
so
about
we win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Man City are
liquidated. Yeah.
And Kobbie Mainoo scores
4 goals in a 5-4 loss.
I'm
I
guessing
don't care
Scottish.
about the Euros loss. I'd be all right
Yeah, I'm
with
happy
that.
with that.
I'm all right with that.
I don't see an issue with
I'm all
that.
right with that.
No. Akash Paul, thank you. Akash Paul has been donating a lot of memberships as well. Said we need to be realistic and maintain some sort of squad cohesion. For me, 3 in and 3 out, and the rest to be sorted over future windows. 4 windows, in my opinion. How many players realistically do you think United can get rid of this summer?
Maybe 5 or 6.
I think quite a lot more than you think because United should actually have a bit of. I think without Champions League it might hurt us a little bit, but if you follow the Swedish Rumble on Twitter, he does have some great economic tweets and stuff that kind of encourages fans about what United's FFP situation could actually be in the summer, and it's better than people may think. I think that's just because of the size of United that we're always going to make money, we're always going to have revenue, and we're always kind of decent on the books, especially because the Glazers have been known to be a little bit tight. But I believe we can lose a lot more because it is possible if you do it right and you've got the people in the right places for recruitment, you can form a decent team without spending over the odds. But obviously United haven't been doing that for so long that we almost don't have any leverage in our negotiations. So I think when United come in for a player that might be worth 20 million, teams are always going to be United are going to pay £50 million extra because they're a bit desperate. But I think we should try and clear out as much as possible so that fans aren't going into next season and when things go wrong with a manager again and just saying, the players aren't good enough, we don't have this player, that player, because you're seeing a lot of that now. So if we get rid of him and rebuild properly, then I think that should be the route, especially when Leverkusen have gone from almost borderline relegation to title winners in the Bundesliga, and they had some sort of almost like a fast-tracked rebuild where they got rid of a host of players and basically recouped it, so it can happen.
Colin Wilmot has been a member of the academy for 30 months. Says, could too much change at once be a negative, guys? I think that was sort of what Ronaldo was getting into there. All right, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what are we standing on him? He's out of contract next year, so he's got 1 year left on his deal, I think. What are we saying about Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
This is tough.
The only thing with Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the right-back market in world football is not that great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. So we've got criticisms for both Delo and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they both have shortcomings in certain areas of the game, and you probably aren't maximising your right-back potential with them two. They're not super duper elite, and I'm very much a fan of Delo. But when you go and look into the actual European market of right-backs, are actually available, there's none that kind of stand out.
Think of a star right back at the minute.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's weird. The fullback area isn't as lucrative as it once was. I think there's not that many world class fullbacks right now. You know what I mean? So it's a bit
a load of people in the chat are saying, or a few people saying Frimpong. He's the obvious choice that a lot of people want.
He's not a right back in a back four though. He's a wing back.
Yeah,
I've watched a couple of Leverkusen's game and he's almost exclusively plays as a right winger in that setup. I think in the Premier League as a right back in a 4, it would be a huge learning curve for him. Do you know what I mean? And as talented as he is, his best attributes are going forward. He can defend, but he's basically ascended as a wing back in a 5. Do you know what I mean? Not in a 4.
Quite a lot of people saying keep him, Ange.
Yeah, I would probably say the same. I think Ronaldo makes a good argument there. So yeah.
Right, okay.
Thanks, thank you.
I know, yeah. We'll clip that up and we'll send that to you, Ronnie. You can have that as your ringtone. Rafael Varane, his contract expires in the summer.
In a bit.
Wow.
You're not on the Varane. You're not a fan.
I was a fan when he came in, but I just think it's long term. He's just not the answer. I think that it's better to cut your losses now, on us just work on getting the right centre-back pairing. I don't hate on Varane that much. I don't think he's been absolutely shocking or anything, but I just think fitness, there's a couple of different reasons. I just think we're best just cutting ties.
Do you know what's crazy about the Varane one is,
Go on.
if you was to have like a ballot for Player of the Year this season, which United aren't blessed with a lot of options for that, Varane gets a shout.
Yeah, it's not because I don't like him. It's not because I think he's a bad player or anything. Is he the same player we saw at Real Madrid? Of course he's not. That's why Real Madrid got rid of him. But I don't think he's a terrible player. There are a hell of a lot worse players that we have. I just think this stop and start and injuries and the concussion and all this different stuff, not slating him for that, that's completely within his rights. But I just don't think it's a long-term thing for us, so why carry it on for another season? It's another season of us not really knowing who our best centre-back pairing are if we need to get someone else in.
He's just injured, isn't he, all the time?
Yeah, and that's not his fault, but that just isn't going to work for Man United.
The quality's still there. I still think he's a very good defender, and there's a lot to like about Varane. I love it when he gets the crowd going. Obviously, he's experienced what he's won. He is a top level defender.
It's a problem area though. But
he's just injured all the time.
Yeah.
I think the centre back pairing, the centre back partner for Martinez does need to be elite though, because Martinez is a top player and his quality, but whether you like it or not, his height will kind of limit how like almost not like transformative in terms of where United go defensively, because he's like probably the best on the ball centre half in the world, I believe, Martinez. He completely transforms us in terms of our build up and like our ball playing, etc. But I think for us to kind of maximise him, he needs like a big towering athletic centre half partner next to him. So that's kind of my concerns about some of the, when we were linked to Debo and that, as good as these players are, I think you need almost a big Berlin, someone like that's got Maguire's stature, but actually like better than him. Do you know what I mean? That's what I believe is needed. So that's why I thought Varane could have worked, because he's quick. I know he's not quite as quick as he once was, but with his injuries, etc., I think we've got a bit of an issue in terms of the RCB, the right centre half position, in terms of Martinez.
It's just, I just feel like you just can't get a consistent ball. And even like last couple of games, well, no, I know he didn't play against Bournemouth, but when it was Chelsea went off, I think was it Chelsea and Brentford, he went off. Yeah. Like you just want a settled back four or a settled centre back partnership. And I don't think you can.
If you knew we could be fair, I would keep him.
But you can, and he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna get fitter as he gets in towards his mid-30s. Yeah. So unfortunately, I think the idea of Raphael Varane was a lot better than the reality, if that makes any sense. And also, he's probably on huge money, isn't he? So even if he extended him on a lower deal, he's still going to be quite a lot of money because of the money he's already on. Victor Lindelof, do get involved in the chat and the comments as well, people. Let me know what you think and hit that like button. Glenn F, by the way, agrees with you. Ronnie says Varane has been our most consistent centre back this season, believe it or not. It's just injuries, isn't it? Yeah. Go on. What about Victor Lindelof?
I think it's time for him to go. I've not been as critical as some people about Lindelof. I think he's a decent footballer. I just think he's never quite been like a winning Manchester United starting centre half, and I think his physicality sometimes gets in his way. So I think it's time to move on from Lindelof.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Nah, I agree. I don't think we need to labour the point.
No.
Johnny Evans.
Oh, Johnny Evans.
Johnny, right? If you want to talk about consistency, right? Performance-wise, consistency. Johnny Evans, I think, actually rivals anyone.
He gets a look in. 100%.
If you look at the performances he's put in when he's played, obviously, then he's probably had more good games per appearance than any other player. Like
he thought that he would come in and save the day with a couple of the moments that he's had this season.
Right.
Like it's
that game against Burnley.
Yeah.
Elite. That pass for Bruno's volley. Come on.
Johnny Evans has been class. He's been a class actor as well. He probably helps in the dressing room in terms of like morale and character as well. But as I said, I'm trying to keep sentiment out of it. But then again, his performances have been more than that. But at the end of the day, he's still going to be. Will he be 37 going into next season, or is it 38?
I would give him another.
Maybe as a third choice, possibly.
But if you were just going off performances, right? He's 36 now. He's 37 in January. you didn't know about his age or anything, or you just ignored his age, just looked at performances. In terms of performances, he's been very good.
Yeah.
This season. Forget about when he was here 10 years ago, whatever. Like, just watching him now, you think every time he plays, he does well.
Yeah.
Even to the point where, was it City where he went off?
Yeah.
And I thought he was doing all right then.
Yeah.
Like, he was putting in a good performance against probably the best team in the world. It's just, injuries haven't been great, but I think more of the question is his age, but I don't think that matters as much with Johnny Evans. I don't think Johnny Evans expects to start every game, and I think just as an option, especially, I don't know what's going to happen, but especially if maybe in the Europa Conference or something, you want someone who's going to, come in and play and do a job.
And if you're playing a lot of the younger players, like he's the kind of name that you would want in the mix with that.
100%. I'd keep Johnny Evans, mate. So I'm saying keep. You're saying what?
I'm saying keep.
What are you saying? Get rid of.
I'm saying
unsentimental. It's not just about sentiment, though. Akash Solomon says, how many players can we say have definitely grown, improved under Ten Hag? Feels like so many have been static. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, regressed Bruno, or were first given a chance under Erik Ten Hag, Kobe, if it's due to his own strengths. Any players that you think? I mean...
I think, you know what's mad? That's probably true, but that's been true for any player that's played for United in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I don't think there's any player that's come in and massively improved. No, I agree with that.
Which is bad.
Maguire.
We need to cut the cord. This has been going on for
I want
too
to
long.
sell. You know why? Harry Maguire, no disrespect to him, he's like a quality bottom half of the Premier League defender. His best attributes, Harry Maguire, are suited towards teams that are defending most of the game.
Yeah.
You know, like almost like commanding his area, defensive headers, clearances, box defending, set piece defending. That's where Maguire excels. When you're playing for a top team where you want to be further up the pitch and higher and you've got to cover larger spaces, that's not that guy. And it's almost similar to Rashford. I think, weirdly enough, Harry Maguire and Rashford are two players that their best form will come when the team's bad. Because Rashford's better when you're defending and countering and he can transition and use his pace. Well, not when you're actually dominating the ball and being a team that's under control. And Maguire's the same, where his best defending comes when you're under the cosh. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like are those the type of players that you kind of got to move away from?
Andrew James in the chat said he's 36 until he's 37. Jay, I like that reference to one of the greatest Twitter arguments ever. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying about Maguire. Where do you stand on that?
I think cut the cord. We need to. It's been going on too long. I don't have a personal issue with Harry Maguire. I know that a lot of people have had a lot of strong opinions on him, but I think for him and for the club, we need to move away. He is not the centre back that we need if we are going to eventually, be challenging. Win the lot and be seriously challenging at the top of that table. It's not going to be Harry Maguire. So for that reason, you've got to go. It feels a bit like X Factor.
It does. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I know. I'm not gonna lie. I know. Also, another point is he's someone that we can actually recoup a little bit of a decent transfer fee from.
I think that certain clubs will still play.
You know what I mean?
Will still,
especially
if
that's what I was going to say, because he will probably start for England in the Euros, and if he does all right, which is. He's done well for England in the past, hasn't he? He was player he was in the team of the tournament, wasn't he, last Euros?
Yeah, he was.
So it can happen. Juan Martinez, who's been a member of the 40 months of the academy, I don't know if I've read this out, says Keane said players will throw the boss under the bus. Excuse me. Radnick said 10 new players. Dump anyone still here from all this time and start new. I think that'd be a bit drastic, to be honest with you, bro. I think we're going to have too many players to try and do that with. Certainly over one window.
I don't think the players have threw Ten Hag under the bus.
They still look like they're trying.
Do you know what's the maddest thing?
Nothing to give up.
It's one of the few times where you've gotten to this stage where I watch a United team where the players, for the most part this season, even when we've been playing poorly, have looked like they've been trying and giving their all. It's just that they've been put in situations where that's not mattered.
You're looking at more the managers' fault
than
the players.
It's been more, and then eventually, more recently, if you've seen instances or things where you might think they're actually down in tools slightly, or whether they're turning on the manager a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something what usually happens where it comes out of the blue and you can tell that they're just completely switched off.
Yeah.
This one's different. It seems like if that's the case, it's almost happened more gradually, where they've bought into what Ten Hag's wanting to do. They've actually tried. They backed him working hard. It's not worked. And then because we're losing, dropping points every week, and it's gone quite poor, players can almost lose a bit of a sense of belief in like the manager and what's happening, and then it can look like they're downing tools. Do you know what I mean? No, I don't think this is with Ten Hag a situation what we've seen in the past in other managers where you're looking at the players and you're like, oh, they've just mailed it in on the manager and give up on it, and just kind of. I don't think it's that.
No, I agree. I think you look. Yeah. Whilst it's been disappointing and frustrating, some of the performances like. For example, the Chelsea game, we came back from 2-0 down. Liverpool at one point, I think we were losing that game. Yeah. Liverpool game, I almost forgot. I know they equalised in the end. The FA Cup game, obviously, we were losing that. We came back. Even at the weekend, we came back twice. That shows you a team that's at least got a bit of fight in it. I just think to watch, and just from a tactical point of view, it's been a bit baffling, to say the least. Right, let's move on then to... I never thought we'd be sat here saying this a year ago. Casemiro. He's had interest apparently from Saudi Arabia. I think he's still got a couple of years left on his deal.
Cash in, please.
Get him sold, yeah.
Wow, that's emphatic.
Whatever money we can from the Saudi Pro League, if they're going to pay.
Daniel Berry says Casemiro's given up. He's certainly the exception.
He's been spectacularly bad.
It's sad to see, isn't it?
He's been so bad.
A player that was once one of the best on the planet. He just looks awful half the time.
Yeah,
he just does.
Let him retire to the Saudi Pro League.
I don't like it. I don't like watching it, but... some of the things that are going on are just baffling, and I think, I don't know if he's going to improve. I know that sounds insane to be saying that about Casemiro. Is he going to improve? But I don't see anything to indicate to me that this is just a blip. It looks like his time's catching up with him. I hope I'm wrong, but it does. I think unless something ridiculously good happens in the next 10 games, whatever we've got, not even that, is it 8 games? If we get through to the FA Cup final, then I think he will go, and I think he probably should.
It's mad. Some of his defending's actually really, really lazy as well, where it's like... I tell you this, when Casemiro lunges in dead early on slide tackles, and like twice out of 10 he gambles early and slides and he actually gets the ball because almost like surprises the attacker, but half the time he will just skip past him. It's just lazy defending. If you want to just actually stand up and jockey and actually try and get the ball off someone, that takes a little bit more energy and effort than just sliding in and hoping for the best. So I'm sick of seeing him do it all season. Have you not seen him when he just lunges in and that?
I'm not lunges. Yeah. There was one, I think it was at Brentford. I can't remember how it was.
He's nowhere near.
Yeah.
Oh, remember?
Do you remember? Me and you were watching, and the player literally just stood there. Casemiro went sliding past him, and he just kind of went, and then just carried on running. It was like well, I used to do it 5-a-side. It was just ridiculous. Honestly, and it's sad to see because he's such a good player. But we're watching a player just, it's like, like for example, if you just watched Johnny Evans, I was saying earlier, and you didn't know how old he was, you think he's a good player. He's playing well. If you watched Casemiro and you didn't know anything about his history, you didn't know anything about what he'd won at Real Madrid and the fact he's won 5 Champions Leagues, and you were just watching these performances, you'd be thinking, how's this kid getting in the team? Like, what's going on there? Like, you wouldn't be having it if it wasn't for his history. Christian Eriksen, again, I didn't think we'd be sat here so soon, but we are. He's got a year left, I think, on his deal. Because he did sign, obviously, a relatively long deal for a 30-year-old.
Yeah, he had a decent spell, but I think his time's up now.
It felt like it was... Even the end of last season, it wasn't great. No. It was a bit patchy, considering how well he'd done for them his first 5 months, till that knobhead Andy Carroll injured him. I just don't know. It feels as well like the manager's lost faith with him.
Yeah.
Like the manager used to bring him on all the time. If he didn't start him, he'd bring him on. And now he's become like the forgotten man, hasn't he? And there's rumours that he's not happy and he wants to know about his future, which you can understand because... the guy went through a lot, didn't he, to carry on playing football. I mean, basically, everyone thought his life was over, let alone his career.
Yeah,
so
and I
he's
think
not going to want to
go
spend
through something like that, you deserve to be playing as much football as you want to play. Whatever level that may be in, whatever league that may be in, whatever country, I think to go through something like that, for his sake as well as ours, he deserves to be playing as much or as little football as he wants at a club that's going to use him and be appreciative of the things that he can maybe bring to a little bit lower down. I think for everyone it's best.
Everyone's kind of agreeing. And there's still a lot of respect for Christian Eriksen. Ross Murphy says, feel sorry for Eriksen. I enjoyed him as a player. He had good at times, but to watch him now, he's frozen out. I think it's time for him to go. Someone's asked a question here. Declan Laird says, Carrington training, 100-yard race. Maguire, Casemiro, Varane, who would win? Varane, isn't it?
Varane.
Easily.
Casemiro would probably trip up over his own feet or something. Do you reckon
Casemiro's quicker than Maguire?
I think Maguire beats him.
Yeah, and that says a lot, doesn't it? Because Maguire's not exactly known for
He's not quick, but I think...
He can move, though, Maguire. He's not as slow as some people.
Need the rest of the day off.
I've noticed that Maguire. I think Maguire's slow, right? when it comes to agility and his turning makes it worse. But I feel like straight line speed, he's not as slow as people think, but he's still slow. Do you know what I mean? But he's not like
ridiculous.
Because what happens, you know what, centre halves always did it when I played as well. They always clock quicker times than you think on, you know, like the GPSs. I don't know if it's because they're power runners or whatever, but I still think when it comes to like acceleration and high line, he's not great. But I think he definitely is one that does need to go, and he would 100% win a race against Casemiro.
Well, there you go. Yeah. That says it all, really, doesn't it? That's what it's come to. So, Eriksen, sorry, son, we love you. Well, I think Christian Eriksen's one of those that when he came back to United, either with the club or just visiting to, you know, to commentate or whatever, he'd get a great reception.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's, you know, that's enough to say that we should keep him. Sofian Amrabat. I mean, it wasn't really his fault how overhyped he was by certain people. I remember watching the Arsenal game when we lost at the Emirates, and we've been linked with him. People were saying all over Twitter, like, wait till Amrabat comes in. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I mean, I don't know a lot about this kid, but is he really that good?
I think the alarm bells were, apparently a lot of the United scouting team, like, were saying, nah.
Like, what, yeah. What
like, they were proper down on Amrabat. And everyone was like, wait, his metrics are good, his FB ref looks good, he played a final for Fiorentina against West Ham, which obviously they lost, but he played really well in that game. So everyone was like, But then the reports came out that, like, obviously United scouting team and recruitment team didn't fancy Amrabat at all, but it was pushed for by Ten Hag. And then obviously he's come in.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and then he's
Ten Hag went, no, listen.
I don't care what you scouts have got to say.
Are you the same scouts that told me not to buy Anthony? Well, I think we know who had the last laugh there. Yeah. So I'm getting him. Also, there was that clip of him running alongside Kylian Mbappe that did the rounds that convinced everyone he was the best defensive midfielder since Nobby Styles, and it's just not the case. So we all agreed on that, and also it's not even buying him in, is it? It's just giving him back. Scott McTominay. Am I allowed to change my mind on Scott McTominay?
What did you say before?
No, not from then. I mean, I have done to say keep him. I just feel like you can't have... Whilst I see your point, Ronnie, about like getting rid of a lot of players and whatever, I think there has to be some limits. And he just, for me, just because of the amount of goals he scored this season and the fact that he can still do a job, he's not great, I think, when he starts, but I think he can still do a job. I'm on the side now of at least keep him for at least one more window or season.
And I think that
as a squad
surely,
player,
you know, if he carries on the way that he's playing, if he has a good Euros as well, then if he gets better, then that just means, you know, we can get, you know, even more of a profit for him.
I'm out on Scott McTominay.
You out?
I'd sell him Scott McTominay. Okay. I really don't rate him.
No, you don't. You've nailed your colours to the mast.
And yeah, he's
spectacular.
He's not young. He's what?
Can't you do more tweets slagging him off? Because you always seem to time them just before he scores. You tweet, he scores like a minute later. It's like he's got some sort of thing in his brain that goes, Ronnie's just tweeting.
How old's Scott McTominay now? Like 28,
27 maybe. Let me have a look.
He's not a young boy. But
young boy.
I think McTominay,
he's 27, forgive me. He's 27.
He's centre midfielder.
When will it be 28?
He's a centre.
Yeah, he's 27 till he's 28 December.
He's a centre midfielder that can't get on the ball, can't pass the ball, can't retain the ball. We're talking about a guy whose best attribute is running into the box late. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if United can afford to have a luxury player like that starting in midfield.
But would you be comfortable, though, just to sort of, not flip it on its head, but to ask you, with Casemiro, Eriksen, Amrabat and McTominay all going out in the same window, 4 midfielders, it's quite a chunk that.
A competent club could actually recoup that.
Well, that's
the problem.
Yeah. We might be under.
I think with United, because Kobe Mainoo has helped United.
This poor kid.
Do you know what I mean?
Kid's got everything.
I
know he's great. I love him.
But he saved United spending about 60-70 million on a midfielder. I think Kobe Mainoo's saved United having to spend that. Yeah. So we probably still need one on a DM. But there was a situation where we needed someone that played as an 8 in Mainoo's position. He was meant to be De Jong, and then now we need a DM as well. So I feel like maybe you can kind of funnel the funds elsewhere. But if I'm looking at that, not thinking about stuff like whether it's too many players to go and sentiment, etc., I don't feel like Scott McTominay should stay. Also from the business perspective of he is pure profit as an academy player. Yeah. And he's also, like Maguire, another player that can command a decent transfer fee that will help United elsewhere.
The thing that you've said there, bro, is a competent club. If we are moving like a competent club, so we get a decent amount of money from McTominay, we have targets that fit in, and you spend that money wisely, I'd be all right with that, 100%. I'm not like emotionally attached to him. I just feel if we're going to get rid of a load of midfielders, he's probably the last one of the ones that does. I think he eventually does need to go. I don't think he's up to it, but I think he still offers you a little bit of something.
I'd
I think
give him
the
one
others,
more season. Then
the others, I'm not too sure.
He's become like that, almost like. It's like the Fellaini role. That's what.
No,
he plays,
someone said that in the comments, but you're not giving him any props for that. Like just the fact he'll get some goals.
Well, nah, he's a good finisher.
Like, I dismissed it for a while, and what annoyed me when he started scoring was the fact that Ten Hag started him every week, and then he went through like 9 games where he didn't score and he didn't do anything else. And that's what worries me.
That's what I hate though, because a lot of them.
Fair enough, bringing him off the bench and getting he gets involved, whatever. But if you're going to suddenly, it was almost like we built a team around him at one point. What are we doing?
A lot of McTominay defenders use that, like, or he scored a goal, he nicks a goal there or whatever, so that means he's playing really well. And there's people that generally believe that.
Sub doing that, but not starting.
And then when because obviously you've seen that thing that person said on stats. Was it on Milky Fellas?
Yeah, it was. Was it Mags said? Not Mags. Was it Statman? Savage Dan.
Stats are like bikinis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So go on. What did he say?
What is it now?
He said stats are like bikinis. They show you some interesting things, but what they don't show you can be equally as interesting.
Do you know what I mean? He sounded a lot more profound.
Yeah, he said it. Me and him have butchered that one on it. Phil, when he said it, he made a lot more sense, and it was
what they show you is interesting. What they don't show you is also interesting. So basically, stats don't tell the whole story. It's just another way. Just another way of saying
someone that's well impressed with both that analogy and the way me and Ronnie described it as well.
Because what I would say is, like, in that spell where McTominay was scoring goals, his performances within the games were a net negative to the team, but because of the importance of scoring goals, you can almost get away with it statistically, because at the end of the day, as Roy Keane would say, goals win games.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is a hard metric to kind of fight back on, because if he kind of got us equalisers or he got us winning goals or whatever, but during the course of the game, United are being hampered by him playing in midfield when he's not scoring a goal. Do you know what I mean?
I know it's like, so. You know what it was? Like, I think the Liverpool game summed it up for me in the FA Cup with McTominay, where he scores that goal then he's woeful for ages, and I was fuming with him, like, because I was watching him, literally stood there watching him and thinking the game's just passing you by. What are you even doing? And then he pops up, I think, with the assist for Rashford. Like, he can be a frustrating player, but then he can do something, and I just prefer him off the bench. I think that he offers you something, even if it's just getting his head on things in like the last 10 minutes or something. If you're chasing the game. My issue becomes more when you sort of start him week in, week out, and like Ronnie's saying, it can be to the detriment of the team. My Amateur says, you have to sell Scott. I get he scores goals, but that isn't the role of a midfielder. Similar to what Ronnie says, I really don't think the value of Scott will be much higher than post this season. I mean, you could argue he's just having one of those seasons where he's scored a lot of goals or a purple patch or whatever.
It's true. The most we can get from him is now, and then what will happen is, like, he plays next season and you continue to see how limited of a player he is, and then you don't get as much money from him next season.
Yeah, I hear that. So you're saying get rid. What was yours? Sorry, yours is decided.
I am leaning more towards what Ronnie's saying now. Yeah? But you've kind of convinced me.
Yeah, right, it's fine.
I think I might
gang up on me.
Sorry.
Nah, Scott's not. Scott,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry, Scott. I tried.
I'm not surprised. I've got strong opinions on Scott.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think you've got to double down on it. After that, the Chelsea tweet was so perfectly timed that I don't think you can ever change your mind now.
What, the brace one?
The brace.
That was Brentford.
Are you sure?
And basically, I said I was criticising McTominay a lot at the time, and I said I did a tweet when we were losing like 2-0, 2-1, and I said Scott McTominay could score a brace every week, and I'd still want him gone out of the team. And then he went and scored 2 late goals after that. So then people have seen the tweet afterwards and thought that I've tweeted that after he scored 2 goals, which makes it look a bit mad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was. I'm trying to find it. All right, no, I can't. Yeah, that was basically what he said anyway. So everyone was like,
"Good." It's not come up straight away.
I know it's probably me. Is it me being a bit stupid? No, it's just.
That's actually mad that it's not there.
There's a few others anyway.
Okay, now. Tweet about McTominay a lot, didn't I?
Yeah, there's quite a few. But yeah, Ronnie's obviously made it my favourite one. Mate, there's some right tweets there. Right, so sorry, Scott, you're out. Anthony Martial, I mean, let's not labour this one.
Out.
He should have gone.
He should have gone years ago.
The Sevilla move should have been the end of that.
I said keep.
Before that, he should have gone.
Yeah.
The fact that he's been at that club for so long is the prime example as to why our club is in absolute shambles.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's the most infuriating player for me that he has somehow managed to stay for as long as he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he like a year or two away from testimonial?
Probably.
Nah, he needs to be gone.
Do you know what I mean?
He signed in 2015, so yeah, he will be.
Who's going to that?
I'd go.
Oh, mate, Martial FC will mobilise.
Me and Adam will go.
I don't know, I think even McCullough's losing enthusiasm. I think he's...
Nah, but I said keep before in a quick fire just as a bit of joke, as a shit because I was always a Martial fan, but Martial needs to go. He is completely dusted at this moment in time.
Yeah, you can't remotely have a clear out and keep Anthony Martial because that just...
He's the first name that should go.
And again...
It really irritates me.
It's sad to say, man.
Yeah.
I had so much hope. That Liverpool debut, the Everton semi-final, the season under Ollie, and then it went downhill. Jace Parker says, I'm there for Tony J.
Martial's also an example of what we spoke about earlier, of United signing young-ish or signing talent in the transfer window and them just declining over the course of being at the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's got to be a point where you look at the player, but there's got to also be a point where you look at the club as well.
It's just a sad state of affairs. Talking of sad state of affairs, Marcus Rashford. This time last year, again, the suggestion of selling Marcus Rashford would have been laughed out of town. However, he's had a bit of a ropey season, to say the least. He's not been great. I think he's got 8 goals, is it, this season? Considering this time last season he had about 28. I mean, Ronnie, the reason why you might say sell Rashford, like one of the driving factors, is the amount of money you could potentially get for him.
I think United, true, and I also think United are probably concerned, and I think this is one of the reasons why United kept Martial, because it's the almost potential of them both that people think that they had.
Yeah.
That I think United are scared because they know how incompetent that they've been under as a club for the past 10 years and other managers.
Yeah.
They're worried about players that are like a Martial, that are a bit enigmatic and go into a different club and firing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think United would want to keep Rashford because they feel like he's a bit of a player where he's a bit patchy in terms of his form sometimes, and like they think he's high-end like game-breaking ability, like some of his pace, and he can do something out of nothing, even when he's playing poorly.
Yeah.
I think United are scared of Rashford going to a PSG or going somewhere else and then becoming 30 goals straight away, and then they're thinking, why have you sold him? But I think the plus of selling him would be the fact that you can command an 80 million type fee, which probably to some United fans that watch him week in, week out, you'd probably laugh at that, thinking, hate me up. But I think he's rated enough in European football where a PSG might actually buy that.
Just on the PSG thing, that was the obvious move, but apparently they're saying, or the latest reports are that ain't happening. It was just paper talk, basically, in the sense of people looking at going, well, Mbappe's leaving, Marcus Rashford, is someone that has been linked with him in the past, not having a great season. It kind of makes sense that they'd come in for him and that maybe United will be willing to sell, but I don't think there's anything concrete to suggest PSG are looking at selling him. Ange, where do you stand? Sorry, you said about
the pros of selling him.
Would you sell him if it was up to you? Or would you keep him?
If a team came in with quite a heavy transfer fee, and I'm talking around the 70-80 million mark for Rashford or more, I would be very, very tempted to sell him. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. So
because
you think at 70-80 million? Okay.
I don't want to be that guy. I talked about markets for positions earlier.
Yeah.
And I said the fullback area is quite weak in world football at the moment, but an area of the pitch where there is a lot of young talent and there's a lot of great hidden talent in terms of wingers.
Yeah.
It is the winger position. So I think, believe it or not, you could actually get Rashford's production with a lot cheaper, basically, is what I'm saying. I think it might sound harsh, but I think there's wingers out there that you could get for 15, 20, 25 million that could give you the same calibre of performances that you're getting out of Rashford. Do you have any, the same output? Any
concerns about the fact we've spent so much on other wingers and it's not really worked out? Or do you think that that's just bad management and that we'll solve that?
Do you know what's crazy though?
Because Sancho's not worked out, Anthony's not worked out. Even I know he's not a first team player as such, he's just a winger we bought in. Like even the likes of Palestri and Diallo, I know the youngsters for the future, but there's still question marks over whether those were good signings. I think where United have gone wrong in terms of their winger choices is they haven't signed a winger that's dynamic. All the best wingers now in world football are those dynamic ones, those ones with a bit of pace and athleticism, and because I think the game's almost become 75% that, especially in the Premier League. It's become very, you can have a career if you've just got those kind of attributes, and it's become a bit of a fast-paced game. People say that the Premier League's become a little bit Bundesliga-fied anyway in terms of it becoming so end-to-end and so many goals. Yeah. But United have gone and signed the likes of Sancho and Antony and even Ahmad, and these are all wingers that aren't those types. They're the kind of technical players that keep possession really well, look very aesthetic, but they're not really as effective as you'd like them to be because they can't beat a man, or do you know what I mean? And I think if United went more down that route in terms of the wingers that they look for, they might have a bit more success, especially because I think that fits into the whole model and style of United, is having those type of wide players. Grace says, if United can't sell Rashford, terminate his contract and set an example for a start. Interesting. Ronnie's saying just about get rid if you get the right money. I'm saying keep. What are you saying?
I've gone back and forth over this one for so long. Kind of with Ronaldo on this.
You with Rana?
Yeah, just
I think stocking Rashford right now is at an all-time low.
Do you know how big this is? Because Ange never agrees with me about anything.
Yeah,
I know.
this is serious.
That says it all. Then Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford, the two academy products, are going out the door together. Because
pure FFP.
Yeah, pure profit. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. It's all happy days. Sorry, Marcus. I tried to fight you, corner, but I'm outvoted, and by a lot of the chats as well, I think I'm outvoted. It's not many people saying keep Marcus Rashford.
It's hard.
Some people
really
questioning. There's people saying terminate his contract. Some people saying take 30 million for him. I mean, stocking Marcus Rashford at the minute is at an all-time low. Let's talk about Anthony then. He's another player who is not exactly.
It's your favourite, that.
I was impressed over the last few games. I thought he did well against Liverpool in the FA Cup. I thought he did well against Chelsea, and I thought he did well when he came on. I know he missed that chance against Liverpool in the league. But there's a little bit of fight there, and I quite liked it. But
then there's also been so many shocking performances.
Over the course of his Manchester United career, I feel he has underwhelmed.
He's a bit unpredictable, isn't he?
Yes.
You don't know what you're going to get.
There's talk of him going. There's talk of United are just going, look, Erik Ten Hag's sort of, according to reports, held his hands up and gone, I got this one wrong.
Can he do that to the public though? Because I think we need.
We need that. Yeah. Say it in a press conference. Say it on Twitter or on Instagram.
And even
or Snapchat.
Even when he's not affecting a game, sometimes he just something in a game or reacts to something where he just looks a bit like he's a red card waiting to happen.
He does. I mean, against Liverpool, he got booked and lost his head, and I thought he was going to get another yellow because he went berserk.
Angry guy.
Yeah, he is an angry guy. Against City, he nearly got himself sent off, didn't he, when he came on? Is anyone saying keep him?
No.
Let's move on. Yeah. Amari Forson. His contract expires in the summer. This is difficult for me.
I'd get rid.
I don't know much about him.
Every time we've seen him, he's not looked anywhere near the level. I just think this should be like a quick one way. Move on.
Okay.
Do you want to keep him?
Dean Woolley says Forson not good enough.
I'll be honest, I don't know loads and loads, but I think what you say, if it's not someone who's coming onto a pitch and showing...
I'd like him to get loaned out. I know his contract expires. Is that even possible to sign him and then loan him out? I don't know. I feel like United at the minute is a bit of a bin fire, and throwing a youngster in, it's not a good look. Everyone thinks everyone's going to be the new Kelby Mainu. That's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I think he's one of them players that if he was at City, he'd be playing 5 minutes every 3 weeks or whatever, and he'd be mint. But at United, he gets thrown in now and again.
Maybe a loan then.
Yeah. Amad Diallo.
I think we all said keep, didn't we?
Keep.
Did you say?
I would keep.
I'd keep Amad Diallo.
I'd say keep. I think I prefer Amad Diallo to Anthony, and actually, I think his cameos that he's shown recently when he very rarely gets the opportunity, which is one of the hardest things to do in football, is being out of rhythm and just getting bit part minutes.
Yeah.
I think Ahmad, clearly, when you watch him come on and play for United, he offers us something a little bit different. And he's one of the few players on the team that doesn't treat the football like a bomb.
Okay, I like that. One of the few. I like half of that. I like the fact that one of the few is quite, disturbing. Even though I agree with you. Right, let's.
Do you think he was all right? Do you think he was all right when he come on against Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I thought he was.
Yeah. I do. I think there's a player there. I do, and I think there's this thing of like now when you're 20, 21, people think, oh, you're done. He's not.
Yeah, if you're not actually Bellingham levels, then
forget
no
it.
point, waste time.
And he's had a difficult sort of journey, hasn't he? There was talk of him being trafficked at one point and all this other drama. So remember there was the rumours that he'd been trafficked from Africa. Is it Ivory Coast he's originally from? Do you remember there was talk that because he's routing to Atalanta, he came with someone who's like a family member, and there was these reports that actually there was rumours that he'd been trafficked because they saw his potential and thought we can get some money out of him. It wasn't literally like his family, it was like some sort of,
I don't know,
something a little bit more sinister going on. I don't think that was the case in the end, but there was it was on, a bit of an investigation. So my point is, he's not had it easy, this kid. And also, just from a football point of view, at Atalanta, plays an hour, goes to United, loaned out, was it Rangers? That didn't quite work out. Then he goes to Sunderland, much better. Comes back to United, he gets injured when it looks like he's going to go to Feyenoord, I think he was going to go to. Then he's never played. Then when he does play, he gets a chance against Liverpool, gets a goal and a red card, suspended, comes back in.
He looks like a good character as well.
Yeah. Even though there's these sort of...
Which is important now.
There was some questionable posts on social media. People were saying, what's this? Cryptic posts again on social media. I don't know. I don't understand the Snapchat and all that. I'm not on it. Anyway, I think that's what it was. I don't know. That's one for the kids to sort out, yeah. Power through these Loanees because we haven't got the energy. Palestre, have we give up on him now?
Yeah, gone.
Yep. Donny van der Beek. I don't even think Eintracht Frankfurt want him.
I
think he's played.
I forgot he was even there.
I think he's played about 45 minutes in about 2 months. I don't even know why he's still there. Hannibal Mejbri.
I'd still keep.
Yeah, same.
I think Mejbri's one of those. You talk about, there's almost a little bit of FOMO with him. It's like you were saying about that potential of like with him. I think like he's the player that if he sorts his head out, he could.
Mejbri's weird.
Amazing.
You know what's weird about Hannibal Mejbri is like when he came up through the academy or when he plays academy football.
Yeah.
He's meant to be like he's actually very super like technical and he's a bit of a stylish footballer. But when he plays for the first team, he's just like a brew that runs around like smashing people. Yeah. When he's actually a much better footballer than that, but maybe at this level he's not. I don't know, but we'll see.
Against Brighton, where it was like he came on, he got his goal, and then tonight was like he's the future of the club, and he's like everyone should be like him. And then he played against Burnley, and we won, and he played really well. And he's like, and then he had a bit of a stinker, didn't he? Against was it Newcastle?
He didn't play again.
Like in the Carabao Cup, whatever it was. Yeah, and then he got hooked off at half time. That was like the end of his United career. Yeah, it was really weird. Dean Woolley, welcome to the academy. Jadon Sancho, gone.
I'd sell.
I'd sell. I mean, he might want to come back if Erik Ten Hag's gone, but I don't think he should. Mason Greenwood, we know why. We all said it. I think he's got to go. It's not just footballing reasons, but we know the reasons. Brandon Williams, I like Brandon.
I've got a bit of time for Brandon.
I've got a bit of time.
Why?
Don't know.
I think. Do you know what? I think there's a player in Brandon Williams. You know.
Well, I do. There is. He's professional football, so there is a player there. It just might not be a good one.
Wow. Hey, do you know what? How old's Brandon Williams? Oh, he's 23. He's older than I thought. This has been a nice.
When's he 24?
Yeah, in September.
He's 23, so he's
24. Don't you understand how fractions work? I like Brandon Williams, but you're right, I'm outvoted. Again, do you know what you lot with the academy lot? You're ruthless.
No, but I want that mad at
Can Brandon Williams be like
15 games he's played in the Premier League, in the Championship for Ipswich and the Flying.
For Ipswich?
He can't even be
I've got a bit of time for him.
Yeah. Can he even be our Rojo? Like,
just come on, smash people.
Just come on when we need to smash them. Because I was angry about. I was angry when I watched it, but I don't know if you was. You know when Gallagher did that to Manu?
Yeah.
When he just ran into him. I remember watching that. I was fuming. I was like, what the hell? But like, no United player reacted.
No, we need that. We need someone like Brandon Williams to go on and just one arrow.
Yeah.
And I was like,
just get a red card.
That's when you need a player that's like, next time Gallagher gets the ball,
I'm just gonna
not send off potential, but you got to clean him out.
We ain't got any of them. Right, just finally, Wallies of the week.
Oh, I forgot about my Wally of the week.
I'll go first then, while you think. Oh, in fact, Ronnie, go on.
It's mad though, I'm on this all the time and I actually never have a Wally of the week.
Well, I'm going to go, my Wally of the week. Do you know who I'm going to go with, right? Gabriel Jesus. I watched the Arsenal game, right? And I'd rather Arsenal win the league than City and Liverpool. And this guy, man, when he went to City, everyone was raving about him, how mint he is, and I can't believe Pep's let him go and all this other nonsense. And, oh, that's it. And I just think he's overrated. I do. I think he goes down too easily. He's not all that. I think since he's come back into the Arsenal team, it's not been great. So, yeah, when I watch him, I'm annoyed. And I'm not even an Arsenal fan. But because I was looking at him thinking, I wouldn't mind them winning this game, I was looking at it a bit different than I would normally would. And I just thought, he's just a frustrating guy. He goes down when he doesn't need to, when he could actually stay on his feet and maybe get a goal.
There's an obvious
one. I just don't think he's good enough.
It's Klopp.
I'm not really. You know what? I was out with the kids, so I didn't watch the Liverpool.
His farewell tours be completely derailed this week, and that's what's hilarious to me.
Andrew James has been a member of the academy for 17 months. Says Varane, Casemiro, Sancho, Martial leaving would free up 30% of the current wage bill. Really poor value for money. Go on, Ange. Your final say. Use your Wally of the week.
I can't think of anyone football related.
And it can be anyone.
It doesn't have to be.
Oh, the every delivery driver that messed up my delivery.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to get delivered on Thursday and it didn't rock up till Saturday.
What was the delivery?
It was the dress for my birthday.
Oh, mate.
That
was lastminute.com, isn't it?
You couldn't wear it out then?
I had to run to the Trafford Centre, didn't I?
Jesus
fight a few people through Zara with my pointy elbows.
Do you know what I mean? That is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah,
I'm fuming. I'll change mine then to yours as well.
Thanks,
I think
Jay.
Ronnie will as well, in solidarity with you.
Thanks.
You're
for
just
the support,
ruining people's... ruining people's birthdays. Angelina, where can people find you?
Talksport and Angelina Kelly. Search that. Shut up, yeah.
Yeah. The lone voice we all love on Talksport. Angelina. Ronnie, where can people find you?
Can find me tweeting about McTominay on the X app.
And here as well. You're on here quite a lot. You're the new Joe Smith.
I tweet about Thingy quite a lot as well, about any time that Liverpool have a demise.
And Bukayo Saka.
You know what? The thing is, what's funny, the Saka hate I don't kind of get. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a very unproblematic, nice guy. Do you know what I mean? But on Twitter, wow, he gets it. He gets hard. I just retweeted the whole where's Bukayo thing because it's hilarious. Do you know what I mean? You see when he got smashed at the end of the game?
Yeah.
And then he limped after it, and people like clipped that and saying he limps every time he plays shit. It's like it's so harsh.
It's harsh. He's like an inoffensive guy. It's like the whole.
He's a proper inoffensive guy.
It's like the whole Harry Kane. Everyone loving the fact he's not going to win a trophy. He's pretty inoffensive, I think. I don't think Harry Kane's a player that, when we used to play Spurs, I'd be like, oh, I hate Kane. I'm never here nor there with him. And when he plays for England, he does a job and he's pretty, seems to get on with everyone. But the fact he's not winning the Bundesliga or he hasn't won a trophy is funny. And everyone loves it.
I think it's funny as well.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. You know where to find Ronaldo. You know where to find Angelina. You know where to find me as well. Big thank you to Surfshark sponsoring this podcast. There's a link in the description. This has been Paddock Podcast. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.